Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today, as part of my Lancer coverage, I just wanted to start by going through the 4 manufacturers and picking out a mech from each of them that I feel kind of showcases what that manufacturer is about. So for our first manufacturer, it will be IPS-N, and the mech I've chosen is the Caliban. This is actually a mech from the Long Rim, which is one of Lancer's supplemental books, not in the core rule. However, the rules for the Caliban are still available for free to all players. To explain what the Caliban is, we get a little bit of them here in the compendium, but I feel like the most effective explanation of the Caliban, as well as the ethos of IPS-N as a whole, comes in the final sentence of its description, where it is written that the Caliban is a tool designed to kill human beings very, very quickly. Essentially, it was manufactured as a mech that could easily move through ships, perform boarding actions, and destroy enemy forces with extreme efficiency. So, going through its stats, the Caliban is a size 1/2 mech, which means it's closer to a suit of armor that you equip rather than a towering mech that you climb into. As with most size 2 mechs, it's going to have very low HP and very low heat. In fact, the lowest HP and heat that you'll find on mechs in the game. However, to compensate for this, it does have 2 pips of armor, which still makes it an incredibly tanky mech, and the tankiest size half mech in the game. Its sensors is only a range of 3, and it grants a -2 ballast to any tech attack you make, meaning that the Caliban, as its logo describes, is designed to kill people, and it is very good at killing people at the cost of flexibility in other areas. We can see this continued in the traits, where we see the Caliban has 3 traits, which allows it to knock back any mech no matter what size it is, follow mechs it knocks back, and deal damage if it knocks people into walls or other obstacles. It has only 1 heavy mount innately, meaning you can only mount a single weapon onto the Caliban. However, it does come with an integrated shotgun built into the frame itself, meaning that no matter what, as a Caliban, you're always going to have access to a shotgun, which has a pretty solid damage profile for a main CQB weapon, as well as the ability to knock back enemies on hit, and after your attack to automatically deal some damage and knock back adjacent characters. This combined with the Caliban's traits, if you can get someone up against a wall, this integrated shotgun will outdamage even some heavy or super heavy weapons currently in the game. And when you activate the core power, you upgrade the shotgun, so now it deals a little bit more damage, but it goes from being an inaccurate weapon to an accurate weapon, and fires its burst in cone 3 instead of as a single target. As stated, the Caliban is an extremely efficient tool designed to kill enemies, and everything inside of the Caliban is designed to either deal damage to enemies, knock back enemies, or do both at once. And we can see this design ethos mirrored in the equipment that you receive as part of the Caliban license. Right away at License 1, you get a heavy launcher that you can put into your Caliban that also deals significant damage for heavy weapons in the game, and comes with a knockback too, along with the Caliban's traits, as well as a supermassive mod, which grants the weapon overkill, which increases its average damage, as well as increasing its knockback. At LO2 we get spike charges, which are a grenade you can throw that stick onto enemies, and once you detonate them manually, deal a little bit of damage and knock back those enemies 3 spaces in a direction of your choice, as well as hardpoint reinforcements, which grants you resistance to all damage during your turn. Now this is only during your turn, but It means if you're taking any overwatches while you try and move around, or walk over any mines that the enemy may have placed, that combined with the 2 armor that the Caliban innately has, means that you'll very often receive 0 damage from those kinds of effects that happen during your turn. And finally, at level 3 we get Rapid Maneuver Jump Jets, which is an expensive system, but lets you, when you boost once around, to fly, basically leaping from space to space, ignore any engagement, so ignore overwatches for your enemy, and pass through enemy controlled areas freely, as well as gain Overshield 3, which is the Lancer term for temporary HV. You also get the HHS-155 Cannibal, which is a double-barreled chuck that you can mount onto your Caliban, dealing the highest base damage of heavy weapons in the game, as well as having the option to fire both barrels at once, dealing equivalent to super heavy damage with your heavy weapon. Of course, after you expend both rounds, you are required to reload, but as a bonus to doing so, when you reload your weapon, you can deal 5 kinetic damage automatically to an adjacent character of your choice. This all points to, as I've been saying this whole video, that the Caliban is an extremely efficient tool at killing people. However, this cost of efficiency is extremely transparent if you ever want to try anything else. Its sensors and tech attack mean that even if you try and do hacking with this mech, you're very unlikely to succeed. And the speed 3 means that if you're on a large battlefield or facing highly mobile opponents, it will be extremely difficult for you to catch up to them and close that space so that your killing power can come into effect. Because of this, picking up other licenses after you get LO2 or 3 into your Caliban in order to get a little more flexibility while still supporting your main goal of killing people can be extremely advised. So to that idea, a couple of licenses that I may be interested in picking up as a Caliban player include the Chung, which at LL rank 1 fetches the total strength seed, which allows us to rip up the ground around us, throw it at our enemies, deal damage, and create a terrain piece next to them. Not only does this give us something to do if we can't quite close that gap to the range 5 that is range 3, I should say, that's required for a shotgun, it also conveniently places a wall next to a target that we can use in conjunction with our knockback and our trades to continually pummel enemies into. I might also be interested in Barbarossa 2 or 3, so Barbarossa rank 2 we could get the flak launcher, which allows us to force enemy flyers to land if they're at range 15. Since most of our combat is extremely short-ranged, a flying enemy can easily outrange us and leave us sadly on the ground waiting for them to come into range. And at rank 3, we have the external ammo feed, which allows us to reload our cannibal shotgun for a quick action instead of the normal full action, allowing us to much more easily and much more often use the shotgun and weave it in with the rest of our turns. As for talents, the Caliban is pretty obviously built for Exemplar and Vanguard, both of these being talents that focus on engaging enemies in close range with CQB weapons. However, I also want to give a shout out to the Skirmisher talent, and especially at rank 2 with Lockbreaker, allowing us before or after we skirmish to move 2 spaces. Since our guns are going to be extremely short range, having that extra 2 spaces to close in on a gap if we can't quite walk there with our speed, or to dodge out of the way of an enemy or reposition ourselves to take best advantage of our knockback, is going to be extremely helpful on a Caliban who has innately low mobility and would love as much of it as it can get. So that's all for this video. The Caliban, I believe, embodies the IPS-N ethos of extreme efficiency, utility, and efficacy, though that will often come at the cost of flexibility in other areas. But I hope you enjoyed this video and this quick look into the Caliban and the IPS-N ethos. Next time I will be covering an SSC mech, which I find emblematic, so I hope you will join me for that when it comes out. But most importantly, I hope you have a lovely day.